Many people live honestly for years, then lose everything because of one thought. Not a big mistake. Not a loud decision. Just a quiet idea that enters the mind and refuses to leave. This story begins there. At the moment most people believe character is already proven. In a small town where opportunities were rare and days felt long, a young man lived a simple, difficult life. The man did not complain. The man did not steal. The man did not blame others. Each morning began with the same hope. Find work, earn enough for food, return home tired but clean in conscience. The routine never changed. The man walked from place to place asking for work. Some days brought small tasks and smaller pay. Many days brought nothing at all. When the sun lowered, the man returned home, cooked a quiet meal, and rested for another day that would likely look the same. Poverty stayed close, but values stayed closer. In that town, people knew the man as honest. Not rich, not powerful, just honest. And that honesty became part of identity. The man believed that as long as values stayed strong, life would eventually improve. Hard work would be rewarded. Patience would be noticed. Integrity would protect the future. That belief gave comfort during difficult nights. But life does not test character during routine days. Life tests character when opportunity appears. Comfort never asks dangerous questions. Temptation does. On one ordinary evening, after another day without success, the man walked home with heavy steps and heavier thoughts. Fatigue blurred the edges of belief. Hope felt thinner than usual. That was when a voice from behind broke the silence and changed the direction of everything. The man had no idea that the next choice would not be about strength or effort. The next choice would be about thought. A single thought. A moment where imagination would speak louder than values. Because character is not destroyed all at once. Character is tested quietly, when no one is watching, when the reward looks close, and when the mind whispers reasons that feel logical. This story is not about a bad man becoming worse. This story is about a good man standing at the edge of temptation, about to learn how powerful one thought can be. The voice belonged to an old man standing beside 3 large duffel bags. The old man looked tired but alert, the kind of person who had seen many seasons and trusted very few. The bags sat on the ground like heavy secrets. "Is anyone here who can help carry something?" the old man asked. The young man stopped. Work was rare, and this sounded like honest work. "Help can be given," the young man replied. "What is needed?" The old man pointed toward the road leading out of town. "The next village is far," the old man said. 2 bags can be carried alone, but the third is too heavy. Carry 1 bag, and 3 gold coins will be paid. 3 gold coins was more than a normal day's pay. The young man hesitated for half a second, then nodded. The first bag was lifted onto the shoulder, and the weight surprised the body. "This bag is extremely heavy," the young man said. The old man answered calmly, "That bag is full of bronze coins." The word coins landed in the mind like a spark, but the young man pushed the thought away. Bronze was not wealth. Bronze was work. The walk began. As the road stretched forward, the old man kept glancing sideways, watching closely. At first, the young man felt confused, then slightly offended. The young man had done nothing wrong. "Trust seems difficult today," the young man said quietly. The old man did not deny it. "Trust is expensive," the old man replied. "Many people look honest until opportunity arrives." The young man tightened the grip on the bag. "Integrity does not change with opportunity," the young man said. "Honesty remains honesty." Soon, a river appeared across the path, wide enough to slow the journey. The young man stepped into the water without fear and crossed carefully with the bronze bag. On the opposite side, the young man turned back and saw the old man standing still. "This river is dangerous for an old body," the old man said. "Carrying 2 bags across could end everything. Carry 1 more bag, and 3 more gold coins will be paid." The young man agreed again, but before the second bag was handed over, the old man raised a finger. "Promise no running away." The young man's eyes narrowed. Why would running away happen? "This bag is full of silver coins," the old man said. The word silver felt warmer than bronze. The mind noticed. The heart beat once harder. But the young man lifted the silver bag anyway and crossed the river, steady and controlled. On the other side, the young man waited. The old man crossed slowly with the last bag and caught up near the base of a hill. The path climbed upward, steep and rocky. The young man began climbing, then turned back again. The old man stopped, breathing heavily. "This hill is too much," the old man admitted. "Carry the final bag as well." The young man reached out, already ready to help, but the old man paused, eyes serious. "This bag has gold coins." Now the temptation was no longer small. Bronze, silver, gold. The weight on the shoulder was real, but the weight in the mind was heavier. The young man forced a steady voice. "Honesty is not sold for gold," the young man said. The old man watched for a long moment, then handed the final bag over. "Walk ahead," the old man said. "Wait on the other side of the hill." The young man stepped forward with all 3 bags. And the test of trust reached its highest point, because temptation always grows gradually, and integrity is tested step by step. The path narrowed as the hill rose. The man walked alone now, carrying all 3 bags. Each step forward increased the distance from the old man behind. The wind brushed past, and the sound of breathing grew louder than the forest around. Silence invited thought. A quiet idea appeared, soft and careful. "No one can stop this." The man paused for half a step, then continued walking. Another thought followed, slightly bolder. "This chance will never come again." The road ahead looked empty. The road behind looked slow. The bags felt heavier, but not as heavy as the images forming in the mind. Imagination began to speak. A warm house, full meals, respect, a future without fear. The thought did not feel wrong at first. It felt practical. The old man is tired. The old man is alone. What use is gold to an old body? Justification arrived quietly, wearing the mask of logic. Hard work deserves reward. Poverty deserves an ending. This is not stealing if survival is at stake. The man stopped walking. Values that had stood strong for years suddenly felt distant. Honesty, once solid, felt negotiable. The mind replayed the same thought again and again until it sounded reasonable. Then the choice was made. The man began to run. Breath grew sharp. Legs moved faster. The sound of the bags striking against each other echoed with every step. Fear mixed with excitement. The past was left behind with each heartbeat. Home appeared closer than ever. Inside the small room, the bags were dropped to the floor. Hands shook as the first bag was opened. Expectation filled the space. There were no bronze coins. Only stones. The second bag opened, again stones. The third bag followed. Nothing but stones carefully wrapped and packed. Confusion struck first. Then panic. Then silence. At the bottom of one bag lay a folded letter. The man picked it up slowly and read the words written inside. The letter revealed the truth. The old man was not a traveler, but the ruler of the land. No family. No heir. A search had been underway, not for strength, but for character. The bags were never meant to be wealth. They were tests. The final sentence cut deepest. If trust had remained stronger than thought, a crown would have followed. The man sat motionless. In that moment, understanding arrived too late. A lifetime of values had not been destroyed by action alone. A lifetime of values had been betrayed by a single thought allowed to grow. Because when a thought is not stopped, it becomes a choice, and that choice can change everything forever. The room felt smaller after the letter was read. The man sat still, surrounded by silent stones that once carried hope. Regret settled slowly, not as shock, but as a heavy understanding. Nothing had been taken by force. Nothing had been lost by accident. Everything had changed because a single thought was allowed to grow unchecked. For years, honesty had shaped the man's life. One moment of weakness did not erase the past, but it rewrote the future. The pain did not come from poverty returning. The pain came from knowing that character had been traded quietly, step by step, without warning. The lesson became clear. Every action begins with a thought. A thought becomes a word. A word becomes an action. An action becomes a habit. And habits shape destiny. Character is not lost suddenly. Character is lost gradually. Each time a thought is entertained instead of questioned. Many people believe danger comes from the outside. From people. From circumstances. From bad luck. But the greatest danger often lives inside the mind. A thought that sounds reasonable. A thought that promises comfort. A thought that justifies breaking values just once. The story of the man is not rare. It is familiar. Temptation rarely arrives loudly. Temptation arrives patiently, waiting for a tired moment, a lonely moment, a moment when discipline feels heavy and excuses feel light. That is why the mind must be guarded daily. Pause for a moment. Reflect honestly. What thought needs to be stopped before it becomes a choice? What idea must be questioned before it turns into habit? Share that reflection in the comments. Like this story if it encouraged awareness. And subscribe to Inspire English Stories to continue learning English through stories that strengthen character, clarity, and inner discipline. Because the future is not protected by good intentions alone. The future is protected by thoughts chosen carefully, every single day.